Back, students of Seneca. In this episode, we're going to look at some non-verbal reasoning that you need to be good at for your 11 plus exam. So we've got videos that cover all the things you need to know for your 11 plus. So non-verbal reasoning in this video. We've also got videos on verbal reasoning, English and maths. So you can access them to get some help. If you also want to have a look at our website to access free courses to help you with your preparation for your 11 plus, you just head over to senecalearning.com and you can sign up for free. So we're going to look at various different practice questions, and I'm going to basically talk through how each of them work and why they are correct. So we're going to first look at questions that sort of talk about finding the reflection or rotation. So we've got question 1. Look at the following image and see if you can find the rotation of the given shape. So we've got this shape here, and we're looking for something that rotates to form that. So this is not one because that has also been set up as a mirror image. This one looks promising because if you rotate that shape there, you can almost test this in the exam by rotating what you have on your paper. This one's got a black dot, so that's not just a rotation. And this one has also got a bit of reflection in there as well. So it's not that. So the answer would be B. If the heart, so here you go, it's going to talk you through the question. So if the original heart is rotated upright, which side would the circle be on? So if it's rotated upright, the circle would be on the right. Not quite sure what we mean here by heart rotated upright. Which side would the circle be on? But anyway, so the circle would be on the right. And which is the rotation of the given shape? Remember we said the answer was B. So it is this one. So have a look at another question. So here you go, the circle's on the left here. Circle's on the left side of the line, and this is it. Circle's on the right side of the line. This is what we're talking about. The circle here is on the left side of the line if you rotate it upright, and the circle is solid in colour in this one, so it can't be right. Let's look at another one now I know what's going on. So look at the following image and see if you can reflect the given shape in the specified line. So can we reflect the shape in the specified line? So here's the line. Can we reflect this shape to make one of these other shapes? So after reflecting the shape horizontally, which position would the wavy line be in? So this wavy line, where would it be? So it would be at the bottom right of the shape. So it would be at the bottom of the shape and on the right hand side. So looking for one that has in the bottom right, be this one. So this one has an extra line in it, so it's not that one. This one has the wavy line in the bottom right, as we said. This one is no reflection, it's just the same shape. And this one is a vertical reflection, so you see the wavy line has gone up to the top, which is not what we're looking for. Right, last one we're going to look at for rotation and reflection. So look at the following image and see if you can find out the rotation of the given image. So we've got a question mark here with 3 lines going through it. So, which direction should the top of the shape curve towards if the shape is upright? So it should curve round to the left, okay, if it's rotated. So this one will curve round. So the answer is, so A will curve round to the left here if it's rotated upright. This will rotate around to the right, so that's wrong. This will also rotate around to the right. And this will rotate around to the left. So it's either A or D. Now you'll see in D you've got 4 lines, whereas in A you've only got 3. We've got 3 in the question. So we're looking for A or D. It's going to be A because that's got the correct number of lines. So as I said, A is correct. The shape is facing right in B, and the same in C, it's facing right, and there's an extra line in D. So let's move on to something a little bit different. We're going to look at completing the grid questions. Okay, and we're going to look just through a few practice questions. If you want to get access to more of those other questions, go on to senecalearning.com and find them for free. So look at the following image and see if you can complete the grid. So we've got a space here and we've got a grid to fill. So we've got to use all these other sections to sort of work out what's going on, basically. So which pattern can you see in each row of the grid? So if we look here, we've got a line. So we look at a complete row here, we've got a line, and then the line rotates, and then the line rotates to be diagonal. But we've always got a triangle and a circle, okay? Here, again, always triangle and a circle. So we've got diagonal, diagonal, diagonal. So the pattern we can see in each row of the grid is that there are two diagonal lines and one straight line in each row. Okay, so do you see? We got. So we're looking at columns, weren't we? So if we're looking at rows, we've got two diagonals and one straight. Two diagonals, one straight. Here we've got one straight, one diagonal. So we're going to be looking for something with a diagonal in it. Okay, so that rules out A and B and leaves us just with C and D. Now, one thing you'll notice straight away about D is it's got two diagonals. So that probably tells us it's going to be C. But let's have a look. So it's going to be this one, which is C. And the reason why it's this one is that one straight line and two diagonals in each line. Okay, and then it's also one circle, one triangle. So question 2, look at the following image and see if you can complete the grid. So we have a question there, and which pattern can you see on each row of the grid? So it's good to look at like the rows when you're doing these questions. So the arrow, we're looking at the arrow here. So each time the arrow rotates 45 degrees as you go across, okay? So we are, from here, it's going up this way, 45 degrees. So we're looking for something with an arrow facing down, basically. So let's see which ones have an arrow facing down. Well, only one of them does, and that is this one. So basically, you're looking for clues that have that show you a rotation of a specific part, and it will always be consistent as you go across a row or down a column. Okay, but you need to keep everything else consistent as well. So, for example, just one circle. Also, the diagonal line needs to be there. All right. So. Last question we're going to look at in this section. So look at the following image and see if you can complete the grid. So again, take that in. Which pattern can you see in each row of the grid? So we've got changes in shape. We've got the lines go sort of zigzag like this. So we'd expect whatever this goes in here to have a line that comes down like this in this direction, because then it will make the zigzag. So that immediately rules out A. So it's either B, C, or D. And then we're looking at the different shapes and the rules that happen around the different shapes. So what you need to think is how the shapes change as time goes on. So if you look, when the shapes are touching like this, they don't seem to change. Do you see? So here, this sort of house shape stays the same, this hexagon stays the same, the triangle stays the same. So we're looking for a line that comes down here and then an arrow that's the same in this top corner. So each time, we're looking for a line down there and an arrow facing this way, which is C. It's the only one that does that. So C will be our answer. So C is our answer, is this one. Oh, no, I clicked the wrong one. So, so actually it's saying the reason is that it's a mirror image each time. And what I'd say is actually it could also be the fact that the arrow is just the same, because all of these are actually the same mirror images. And I'd argue both of those answers would be right. So let's have a look at another type of question, completing the set. for your non-verbal reasoning. So if the following image does A, B, or C or D complete the set? So we've got a set here. What completes the set? So let's have a look at each individual shape. So we got 2 diagonals, 1 diagonal, 2 diagonals, 2 diagonals. So, and it's changed side. And then we also need to look at the colors and also the shapes themselves. So what we can do is, what is the pattern in this sequence? Well, the triangle, let's have a look. Is it the triangle that moves 1 space to the right? Is it the heart moves 1 space to the left, the circle moves 1 space to the left, or the heart moves 1 space to the right? So let's have a look at each of those. So the triangle each time moves, does not seem to move that well. Let's see what the answer is. So the heart moves 1 space to the left. So let's try and track that. So each time, heart moves to the left, heart moves to the left, then heart moves down here. So looking for something with a heart in this position, a white heart. So the only one that has that is D. So the answer is D. So it's all about looking for those patterns. It might not immediately be obvious where those patterns are, but you can try different things to work out what the pattern will be eventually. Okay, so try different ones and see if there's one that fits your rule. If there isn't, try and think of another pattern. So if in the following image, does A, B, C, or D complete the set? So again, we have lots of different images. You'll see that we've gone 3 circles to 2 circles to 1 circle to 2 circles. I'm guessing this probably has 3 circles, is my guess. The one that's completing the set. And that's just something I've noticed, and it might be that actually there are none that fit what I want with the number of circles I need, in which case I go back to the drawing board. But let's have a look. We've got 1 line here, 2 lines, 3 lines, 1 line. So we're probably looking for something with 2 lines. So 3 circles, 2 lines. That's saying this one potentially could be the answer. But let's have a look if it fits with what's going on with the rectangles. So 4 rectangles, 3 rectangles, 2 rectangles. And then 4 rectangles, so I'd expect 3 rectangles, which doesn't actually fit with this one. So I'm in a bit of trouble. I've gone a bit, I've made an assumption and it works with 2 of my rules, but not the other one. So I need to go back to the drawing board. I need to think about what else it could be that is making this rule happen. So maybe let's look at some other part, okay? So the two rectangles overlap in every single one. That's another rule, okay? Whereas here we've got no overlapping, 3 triangles overlapping, no overlapping. So the answer was actually B, but I got the reason wrong. So it's important thing to say at this point, if you're not sure, but if you're not sure, try and work out the reason and see something that seems logical. But otherwise, it's okay just to have your best guess as well. So let's continue. So complete the pair. So complete the pair practice questions. So in the following image, does A, B, C, or D complete the pair? So here we've got a rotation and then a change in shape. And then we'll probably have another, so this is basically looking at what happens to go from here to here, and what should we do to make this into something else? What would we end up with? So it looks like it's been basically the whole thing's been mirrored here. So it would be flipped vertically. So it would be D, because the black dot would switch sides, and also these little triangles would switch sides as well. So it is horizontal reflection, sorry, clicked the wrong one. And the answer would be D, which is this one. Okay, onwards. So in the following question, does A, B, C, or D complete the pair? So if we've got added an extra circle, and then we've added We've also added an extra line to each of these bits in the corners. So basically adding 1 to each section. So we should have 3 circles, 2 lines in the top right, 3 lines in the bottom right, and 1 line in the top left. So it'd be A would be your answer. Number of shapes increases by 1 is the answer, as we've discussed. So the final answer would be this one. Excuse me. So look at one more of these. Which one completes the pair? So we have a square on its point with lines going through it, and it looks like that square's been halved and a circle drawn around it. So let's do the same with a triangle. Let's halve it and draw a circle around it. So the answer would be C. The left half, the shape remains and the circle's been drawn around it. So it's this one. Onwards, let's go on to the next section. So the odd one out practice questions. This is the penultimate section we're going to look at. So look at the following image and try and work out which option is the odd one out. So we've got different images here. Try and work out which one is the odd one out. So what is the similarity between 4 of the 5 images? Well, I'd say there's a similarity that 4 of the 5 images have a dotty heart in them. They all have like lines, but only sort of 3 have lines that have shapes in the middle. 2 have lines that just sort of go through nothing. So I'd say the only similarity that covers 4 of them is the dots in the heart that's in the left-hand side. So dotted heart on the left-hand side, and the answer to that would be, so the only one that would fit, the one that is most unlike the others would be A, because that one doesn't have a dotted heart in the left side. So again, which one's the odd one out? So let's have a look at the similarities across these ones. So we've got each one's got 4 black stars. They've all got, all got 4 white triangles. And only 4 of them have a white circle though, and this one has no circles. So I'm going to guess that A is the one that's the odd one out because it doesn't have a circle. Woohoo! So, last question, odd one out. So we've got let's try some things out. So every shape, every sort of pattern has a triangle, everyone has an arrow, everyone has a circle, everyone has a square. So it's not to do with that. Let's think about the positioning. So the arrow in the direction it's pointing, could that be something to do with it? Potentially. Can't see anything obvious. So maybe each one. How about each one always has the circle next to the triangle next to the square, apart from this one, which doesn't have the triangle next to the square. Let's see if that's the right answer. So it's about the pointing of the arrow, this one actually. So I think that would have been another good answer, would have been that the triangle would be next to the square, but the answer that we wanted in this case is that the arrow always points to, so away from to the corner it's in. Okay, so it always points to that corner, apart from in A, where it points to the middle. Okay, moving swiftly on. So finally, we're going to look at codes. So again, some practice questions to do with codes. Start a new section, and on we go. So look at the following image and see if you can crack the code. So this might take me a little while, but we can try and work out what's going on. So YY is those, YT is those, TY is those, TP is those. So I think it's, if you've got 2, it starts with a T. If you've got lines that go vertically, then the second letter is a Y. So if we've got 3, so if we've got empty ones, I think the second letter is a P. So, oh no, sorry, empty letters, the second letter is a P. So if we've got 3 circles, that means that Y is the first letter. And then we've got the empty, which shows that it's P, so it's YP. So it represents the number of the 3 circles. Number of circles, if there are 3 circles, is represented by Y. And then no shading means P. So it's YP is the answer, which is A. So we'll look at another example because it's a bit tricky, that one. So Y is the first part of the code, represented by the 3 circles, and P is the second part of the code, represented by no shading. So another one, let's crack the code. So we've got triangle, 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 and then a circle. So the thing that's common across all the ones that have triangular is that they all start with D. So we'd say if it's a D, then, if it's a triangle, it starts with a D. And that implies that if it's a circle, it should start with an I. So then the second thing we need to look at is the pattern inside. So this circle with a dot, dot, dot in it. This is a triangle with a dot, dot, dot in it. So the triangle with a dot, dot, dot is DG. The circle is IP. So I would say it's probably IG because we've got a circle which represents I, and we've got the dots which represent G. But let's have a look. So we've got a circle and then the dots represent G. So the answer is IG, or Instagram. So, yeah, as we said, I is the first part. The code represents the shape, the circle shape, and P is the second part. That represents the shaded dots. So that is all we're going to look at for your 11 plus non-verbal reasoning. This is just an introduction. So if you want more practice, go and sign on to senecalearning.com. It's free to use. You get a lot more help and a lot more like broken down explanation of how all these questions work to help you. Because the key to these, along with any revision or any exam, is practice. But I think especially with these like non-verbal and verbal reasoning, if you've not tried them before and you walk into the exam, you're going to really struggle. So practice, 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 and the best way to do that is using Seneca. So get on, sign up for free. Also check out our other videos. We've got verbal reasoning, maths and English videos on our YouTube page, so check them out, and they're ready to use for you to go, and good luck.